I'd like Good day, everyone. I would like to officially welcome every one of us to day 2 of this event. I want to thank, before we begin, I would like to thank everyone that was a part of this event yesterday. I want to thank our speaker yesterday. He gave a very wonderful presentation, Dr. Olayinka. Is here with us today, and today we have another powerful speaker in our midst. So before we begin, I would like to ask our president to give us the opening remark before we commence this event. So you have the floor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, the moderator, our sister Edidion. And just as you can see, I don't need to say that I'm happy. Indeed, you can see that I'm happy, very excited to be part of the event today. And it's an exciting thing because OAAD is moving very steadily towards what we've been saying. You know, from the beginning, we mentioned these things, and it's our joy to see that having mentioned those things all the while, now seeing them, come to pass, seeing them manifest is such a great joy. And the great work that the leaders of the organization, as well as several members, many members, at the moment we are getting to be over 3,000 in number. And we are looking forward that in the next few years, let's say about 10 years, we are looking forward to having at least 200,000 members. And the reason is because we have huge things to do, big things to do. And those things we have to do are not negotiable. They are things that must be done for us to stay alive and for us to ensure the survival of our children who are coming after us. And those things are very much related to what we'll be discussing today. And we have a strong expert who will be introduced subsequently. But I'm just excited to welcome all of us who have been able to make it to come today to this meeting. And I just want to let you know that before we are done, your mindset is going to be absolutely different. You're going to see possibilities you never saw before about yourself and about what you're able to do. And you are likely going to catch a vision that's going to turn your life around entirely just by being in this meeting, because I know what value is being brought to us through this meeting. So I'm inviting your heart to be very open and receptive and expectant to get something that's going to help you a lot in terms of your career development. And also as we make further progress into the years ahead, I'll be inviting everyone to see how they can prepare themselves to participate in whatever ways possible. Great things are happening, and as the event progresses, some link will be shared, which we hope that you're going to look into and take a survey that's going to help us as we enter the next level of OAAD's development. Because at this time now, the current Executive Council has just been in office for about 1 year, and we're entering the second year, and new things are going to be happening. We are getting into the phase where we'll be looking intentionally as we engage with people to find specific persons who are going to represent us in various countries as we are beginning to attract relevant projects that will be of great benefit to those who participate, those who are in the loop. Whatever a person does to ensure that the projects go forward, they are going to have some benefit. The organization will have some benefit. And the bigger picture is that at the end of the day, we want to ensure that all OAAD members are financially stable. Nobody who hangs around with us contributing, nobody who has helped us trust him or her will have financial difficulties in the years ahead. The truth, ladies and gentlemen, is that we shall not have one poor PhD holder in Africa. It's not possible. Many times these days, we have a lot of PhD holders, but they are struggling with money and things of that nature. Our plan is that working together, that's going to be history. And if we can make it happen for ourselves, that means we will work together to make it happen for every community where we come from, because we believe that in every community in Africa, in every village in Africa, we have at least one PhD holder. And we're going to work with that one PhD holder, with those PhD holders in those various communities, those various countries. We're going to work with them to design solutions that are customized for their communities, customized for their people. And based on those customized solutions, we're going to turn the lives of people around and help them to help themselves. We will use the network we have, we will use the influence we have built, the respect we have gathered over time. We will use it not as a show of pride, as a person who has been able to get a PhD, but we will harness it, as it were, the same way solar energy is harnessed. We will harness the respect we have and build it into one consolidated social capital base that's going to turn things around for many people on the continent of Africa. We are the ones to solve the problems of Africa, and we have what it takes. We have the competency, we have the ability, we have the burning passion in our hearts, and you can imagine that all is just, what's remaining is just history, because it's going to happen and we'll all see it. And thank you very much for coming once again, and looking forward to enjoying this meeting with you. Please, over to you, the moderator.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President, as always, for that powerful introduction. This event is making it in academia and industry. So yesterday we dealt with how to navigate the academia and how to grow in your academic career. Today is about entrepreneurial ventures. Our speaker today is very savvy in the business world, so I'd like to introduce him before we continue. Dr. Leonard Chuta hails from Cameroon. He graduated from Antai School of Management in Shanghai Jiaotong University with focus in innovation management. He is the founder and chief technical officer of SBOS AI technology, operating in both Shanghai and Suzhou in China. Before founding SBOS company, Dr. Liu was a director at Hewlett and Packard, where he led multinational teams to deliver IT solutions to Fortune 500 companies such as BMW and Volkswagen. His company, SBOS, deals with intelligence, sales, procurement, and production processes. The customers it deals with are growing companies struggling with managing high volume of data, and also managing companies looking for ways to optimize their production processes. Dr. Leonard is fluent in English, French, and Chinese, and it's a great honor to have him in our midst. Thank you very much, sir. We are happy to have you here. We look forward to learning from you today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, everyone. It's an honor for me to be here today. I think this is the second time I'm speaking at the OAAD, so it's really an honor. I thank all of you for the great work you have been doing so far. I think this thing is really taking up. I'm happy to be here again today to share with you some of my ideas and my experience mostly. So the presentation today is not really about me, it's just about like general entrepreneurship. You know, any one of us who have done this presentation. So without beating around the bush, I will just go straight away into the presentation.
Sorry, Dr. Leo, there seems to be some kind of interference coming. I don't know whether it's your headset, but it's interfering with your voice a little.
Okay, so is it better now?
Yes, it's better, yeah.
Okay, so let me try to share my screen. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is OAD and the industry, and how OAD can help to accelerate African businesses. Well, I didn't say that how OAD can help to create African businesses. I say accelerate means that you must have been doing something on your own and it is already working. Then maybe through the OAD platform, we can find some ways to help you expand your business. Okay, so like the topics I want to discuss today are like catalysts for innovation. So what do we need to create a business? What are some of the challenges that as an African entrepreneur we face, and some of the possible sources of capital, and how OAD can help. So, but before I go into this topic, because I feel like so many people are interested in knowing how can they get started. So I'm going to have maybe like some 4 slides about innovation and entrepreneurship in general, because my research was in innovation management at Jalto University. And so the slides I'm going to use today, the first slide, please don't put me anywhere, because these are the slides I used like 2018 for my lectures at Shanghai University. So don't quote me. Okay. So let me go straight away into innovation management. So my first slide here, let me try to see if I can minimize this so that you can get the title of the slide, otherwise it's not visible. How can we minimize this toolbar? Can you see the title of my slide?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay.
Concept model.
Yes, okay, because I'm not seeing it here because the Zoom control bar is blocking my title. Anyway, so this first slide is like trying to tell us what a company is exactly. So a company is basically an organization we use to search for a new business model. And once we find a new business model, we find something that we can execute repeatedly, then we use that organization to execute that business model. So that is the whole goal of a firm. So it basically means that so early in the firm, so at the startup stage, we're just like searching for a kind of like, okay, what the idea we have, can we really turn it into a product? Is there a customer that really wants this product? So once we really find our target customer, and then basically we have a business model, we validate the business model with our customer, and then once everything is validated, then we execute the business model. So basically, in terms of economic, the firm exists to lower transaction costs in economic activities. So for example, if you look at why do we have OAD? Because we figure out that if we are doing things in group, we can achieve a better goal than doing it individually. So it's the same for a company. If you're working alone, you can't really do much, right? So if you kind of like pull the resources together into a single, into an organization, then you have the possibility of lowering the transaction cost of different activities. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the detail of this. So this is just to give an idea of exactly what a business is. So basically, most companies will fail within the first 5 years of their operations, right? So there are many reasons for that, you know, and so most experts will say that they fail because they run out of money, right? So this is what I would tell my students in 2018. So I would tell them, okay, well, business failed because they run out of money. But after being in the practice it myself for more than like full time for more than 4 years now, I feel like the main reason they fail is because they don't have customers. You know, if you have customers, you can always generate cash flow. Because there have been time in our business where we were like, we really like didn't have enough of backup cash, but we kind of like were able to identify new customers and generate new cash flow. So for me, I think my priority the way I view this thing now has changed over the last 4 years. So I kind of like value more like the market needs more than the availability of cash, you know. So that, of course, there are many other reasons that are here, but I think the main one is like no market or run out of cash. Those are the main reason that the business fail, you know. Okay, so this here is a standard way of creating a business. So for those who are interested in creating their own business, this is kind of like a process that I mean like you don't need to go and try to figure out everything on your own again, because there are like tools outside there that can help you to like formulate your ideas and kind of like help you through this process of the way you take an idea, you transform the idea into a product, and then you transform that product into a company, and later on you scale that business, right? Okay, so this is how it happens. Basically, it starts with an idea, right? And once you have the idea, you kind of like uh, make some detailed analysis on the idea. And then after that, you can formulate what we call a business plan, which is what you do in the business case formulation here. And then you take that business plan, you kind of like design some hypothesis. So the hypothesis could be like, what features you need to provide to the customer, and then you test with the customer if that is really what the customer wants. Now, how do you know that this is what the customer wants? Because before you build a business, everyone you talk to, they will tell that, okay, this is a great idea, just build it, just go on and do it, right? But after you build it, it's a totally different situation. So the only reason, the main reason that we use to validate a business idea is like, if there is somebody out there, there's a set of customers out there that are ready to pay for the product, then you know that, okay, you have a valuable business idea. Okay, so basically we start with what we call in the industry the MVP, the minimum viable product, which is like you have the very minimum set of features that you can build very quickly, and try to see if you can sell those that MVP to a customer, to an early adopter. And then if that fails, then you kind of like pivot back and then change some of your hypotheses, and then you test the hypothesis again. So the whole idea is to be able to like fail quickly. Like, don't wait and fail. Don't lock yourself in the room and build a product for like 2 years and then take it out and realize that the customer doesn't want it. So try to build a product in less than a month, take it out. It doesn't work. You know that, okay, what I'm doing is not right. You go back, you change it, and then you go and test it again until you find something that works. That's what we say is a search of a business model, right? Because you keep on trying new hypotheses until you find out something that works. And once you get that business model that works, then you kind of like build a company around that business model, and then you find a way to scale it up. Okay, so this is the basic idea of how to create a business. I mean, it is a theory, but I mean, it will be like, if it was that easy, then all of us would be like running our own business, right? So it's not that easy, but these tools that I just explained, they kind of like help. There are things that are beyond your control, like the macro environment, government policies. Those are things that you cannot control, right? But you can use these tools to kind of like minimize your risk in the process. So instead of burning all, if you have like 1 million USD as your capital, instead of burning that money all building a full-blown product that nobody wants, you can build an MVP, and then you use that to validate your ideas. Okay, so so what do we really need to start a business as to really get this thing up? So first of all, we need an idea. So, but this idea has to be formulated into a problem that we are solving for our community. You know, we need to have a problem. The bigger the problem we have, the better it is, right? If you are solving a small problem, you end up with a small company. If you are solving a big problem, you probably end up with a big company. Okay, and they also need to be like market opportunities, like customers that really have that problem that you are trying to solve, right? And then you have to have a team that believes in what you are doing, right? And this team needs to have complementary skill set. This is where the collaboration is very, very, very important. So if you are someone with a tech background and then you are looking for a partner, you should have a partner in the that has a business background, possible sales background, right? Because while you are building the product, somebody needs to be talking to the customer, right? Or if you have a business background, you need to try to partner with someone that has a tech background, right? So the initial core team needs to have complementary skills. Complementary skills are very important in this case. Okay, we also need a stable market environment, a macro environment. So, because there are certain things that, as I said in the beginning, there are certain things that are beyond our control. So if we have a stable political environment, a stable macro environment, this is very good for us to run our business. Because as entrepreneurs, we take the economic as given. You know, it's just like the economy, they take technology as given. We take the economy as given, and then we try to operate within the parameters of that macro environment. We don't go and try to like change policies, you know, we operate within those parameters. So we also need a seed capital. So this this kind of capital, maybe you can get it from maybe working in the industry for some time and saving some money, or you can maybe borrow it from families, friends and families. You know. But no, the ideas, the days that you just have a PPT, you work and to a VC, and then you get money to go and start a business. Those days are long gone. You know, it doesn't work that way anymore. And then on top of that, you have like this person that is the vision keeper. You know, the one that is driving the ship. You know, so this, if we don't have this vision keeper, then maybe we're just a bunch of people in the room, everyone with different ideas trying to go in a different direction. We need to have someone that kind of like keep us focused in one single direction, because we cannot do everything at the same time. We need to do that maybe one or two things at a time, you know. So having that vision keeper is very, very is key to the success of I think for every business. If we don't have someone that is keeping the vision, bringing the team together, we are just like maybe some people in a room struggling, don't know exactly what they're doing. Okay, so this is early stage. So early stages are the things we need for an early stage. But once we have this business model that it's working, we have customers, and then we can kind of like project like, okay, if we add in $10,000 more, then we can grow by maybe by this amount of USD. That means that we have a kind of like a growth model. We know how to scale the business. So once we know that this business is scalable, we have some data, then we can look for growth capital, right? So that comes in at the second stage, you know. So we can look for a VC to invest in our business and help us to scale that business. Okay. So I have this slide here just to kind of like show some light on certain things that. So because we are operating in a kind of like macro environment, so like certain things that are like given to us, and we need to figure a way to work out with those things. You know, so I have this graph here that shows the growth in GDP of Africa, China, and the United States. You know, and I also have this graph that shows the growth in the population. So you can see the population of Africa, how it's growing, and then the population of China and United States. So the thing is that as an African, if I just throw these slides to you about how easy is it to start a business, just follow that process, have the idea, then that is half truth. You know, it's not the whole picture, because we are not playing on a totally level ground. You know, some people that are in an advanced economy, they're in a very stable environment. You know, and we cannot like think that we can just go on and then compete with them on equal ground. So it's good for you to know that, okay, I'm telling you that you can go and fish, but I'm also telling you that, well, be careful, the water is not that clean. There are certain things that you need to pay attention to. Okay. So you can see here that basically, if you go like very, very far behind, probably we all started on the same level, but something happened that caused this diversion, you see. So for example, we look like China and Africa. So China came kind of like sometime around, according to this graph, right? Sometime around the 90s, China kind of like started to separate, in terms of GDP started to grow. In fact, of course, we know what happened. There was opening up, but that's saying that there was opening up is China opening up is just half the story. There are many other things that came into play. That there are policies that came into play to enable China to grow at this fast rate. Why we still like just stay almost at the same growth rate, right? I mean, that's a topic for a different day. That's a topic for a different day. But it's something that we need to, as an entrepreneur, we need to pay attention to those things. No, but like the good thing for us is that the population of Africa is growing. So Africa will probably be have the largest amount of population in the world around, according to this graph, around, let me say 2000 and let's say 2030, right? So Africa will have the highest population in the world. So that is good news for us because we can also leverage that to kind of like see how we can use that to improve our situation, Okay, so as African entrepreneur, we don't always face the standard challenges that most entrepreneurs will face, which is the things that are listed here below, right? We also face the challenge that we don't have a recognized brand, So it's like, well, we have people in Africa that have successfully built great businesses, but their influence have not moved to the international stage, which means that those who are playing on the international stage, we still have a very weak brand, So those are things that we need to work on it, and it's not going to happen overnight. It will take maybe 10 years, it will take 30 years, but we need to see how we can organize ourselves and how we can pull resources together to kind of like, not saying that we're going to be above US or above China but we need to be able to like put ourselves on a certain growth path also. Okay, so here is like I'm trying to like explain to you like the source of capital for a business. So in business we have basically two types of finance, what we call the debt finance and equity finance. So equity finance is like where you give people share of your business and then they invest in your business. And debt finance is like when you take a loan from the bank or you borrow money from a friend to invest in the business. So in the early stage of a business these days, basically you will have to like come up with the initial capital by yourself, So you need to figure out a way to come out with the initial capital. Maybe so one of the best way to do it is to first work in the industry that you are going to operate most of the time, because while you're working in that industry, you are saving some money, right? At the same time, you are building the necessary network and connection that will help you in developing the business in the future, right? And also another advice I will have to give you is like, it's not that the first business you start is gonna grow up to be a big company. So that is usually not the case. Usually start maybe one or two businesses, and the third or fourth business that is really gonna take up, because you need to learn a lot. There are things that you cannot just learn from the book. It's like driving a car. No amount of book reading will explain to you how to drive a car. You need to get behind the wheel and feel it. That is the only way that you can really master how to drive a car. So at early stage in your life, you can start doing some little businesses. Just kind of like getting accustomed to the business world. Okay, so the big point here is like, how can OAD OAD help in promoting African businesses. So the suggestion I just want to put forward here is that what we can do is like we can select a number of businesses every year, maybe like 3 businesses, and then we kind of use the OAD platform to promote those businesses through the OAD network, right? And to see how those businesses grow over the coming years. So we are able to like take a business, let's say from let me say $500,000 annual revenue, and then we use the OAD network to promote that business to say 10 million USD, or I don't know, 100 million USD annual revenue. Then that kind of shows some kind of like the power of OAD in accelerating African businesses. And this in turn, we can use this to create a kind of brand recognition for OAD in the industry that will kind of like create, I don't know, a feedback loop, which makes that such that whenever a business presents itself to a VC and say, okay, this is the OAD promoted business, then at least that will increase the confidence of the VC. Because one problem that African entrepreneurs face is that we don't have a strong brand, so that means that our trust level is not very high. So when we talk to VCs, they're kind of like a little bit skeptical about investing their money, because we don't have that brand. So, but that's something that we can build over time, So another thing that OAD can do is also like to help the African businesses to connect with VCs or companies that wants to invest in Africa. Because another problem here is that there are people that have good businesses, but they don't have any connection with investors. There are also investors that have money to invest, but they don't know which business to invest. So if OAD can be there to bridge that gap, that could be something that would be very, very helpful for African business. Okay, and then here about creating like partnership between the industry and the academic. Sorry for my typing mistake. Industry and the academic. So I think like from my experience, a better way to create this partnership between the industry and the academic is to create projects, right? Because there have to be like some real linkage between the industry and the academic. It's not just about like just sitting down and having a meeting to talk. There have to be a project. So there have to be something that is actionable, and the project is a way to create actionable items. So there has to be a project where a company is collaborating with some researchers to come out with a new product in the market. So that's another area that we can explore together. Okay, so this is my presentation. So now I am open for questions.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that presentation. I have a question before we deal with questions from the audience. I have a question. I want to ask, how were you able to break through into the Chinese market when you initially began your business? Because it's not easy for Africans. How were you able to translate what you learned in school into a product that the Chinese market needed when you started?
Okay, so that is a very excellent question. And so I think like, first of all, it's not like transforming what I learned from school to a product. Actually, I had the idea already before going to school. So the school, it was just a way to create a brand, right? To create a brand for myself. It's not like I went to school, then had an idea when I was at school and go out and build a company, So after my master's, I worked at Hewlett Packard. And then before I went to Charlton University to do a PhD, I already had a business before, which didn't work out, So I already had that idea of, okay, what am I going to do next before I went to Charlton University? So coming back to your question, how do I break this barrier? I think like first of all, like it's everyone case is different. You know, everybody's case is different. But being associated with good brands like Hewlett Packard, Shanghai Jiao Tong University, it kind of like help in lowering the barrier. Like some people just trust you instantly when they hear the association with those brands, right? So sometimes when we go to present our product, and some customers will like ask, "Oh, is this product developed in Africa?" Sometimes I will say yes, it's developed in Africa, but I also tell them that I've worked at Fortune 500 companies. I've graduated from a top Chinese university, so that kind of like helps them to reduce any stereotype that they could have in dealing with our business. But of course, you still have to like show them a team. You're not a one-person army, you know. You still have to show them a team that is comprised of both locals and international people, you know.
Okay.
Does that kind of closely answer your question?
Yes, yes. Thank you. You did. We have a question from Mustafa. He said, please, how does VC and business owners supposed to share profit and loss in a particular business? Is there any internationally and legally recognized formula for that?
Okay, so business has risk, you know. Business has risk. So the reason for us to like bring in VC into the business, first of all, the VC is not going to invest if you haven't proven that your business is successful. They're not going to give you money to go and do a business model search or to go and do research. They're going to give you money if you have shown data that, okay, at this stage you are able to multiply the business. For every dollar in, you can get a certain amount of dollar out. So that's when the VC comes in. They don't come in to give you money for research. But even at that level, there are still some risk, and all of us, we do understand that there's risk in investment. So for the VC that is coming in and giving you money to take the equity, there's like no international formula like how we are going to. The risk is shared based on the amount of stock they have in the business. But the situation that there are things that we call preferred stock, right? Preferred stock means that if we sell the business, then the people with the preferred stock will have their money back before the people that own the business. So the people that own the business have what they call the common stock. So in the case of liquidation of the business doesn't work out, we decide that we have to sell it. Then if the equity investors, they have the preferred stock, they will first recover their own money before anything that is left behind will be given to the business owner or the people that have the common stock. That is the general way of handling this case. But in case that we still cannot sell the business, then it is not a debt, it's an equity investment. If it's an equity investment, we both share risk. So if the business loses, all of us lost. You know, but if it's a debt investment that you have taken loan from the bank and the business losses, then you as a legal representative, you have to find a way to compensate the bank. Does that help the question?
Yes. The person said yes, you've answered. Another person wants you to explain what finance equity is. And he's also asking, is there business in the school? As students cannot work in China, how to overcome that difficulty?
Okay, so the first part, let me answer the second part first, that students cannot work in China. So yes, it is a fact that as a student we cannot work in China, but we can get an internship, and then after we graduate, maybe we can work for some time and then set up our own business. You know, but as a student, you don't have a work visa, so you cannot legally seek for employment in China. You know, but I think there are some policies in Shanghai that if you graduate from a top Shanghai university, there are policies that encourage you to start a business in Shanghai, but that is after graduation, not during your studies. Okay. And then coming back to the other point of what is an equity investment. So as I said in the beginning, that there are basically two kind of investment. You can do a debt investment, meaning that you borrow money, right? And then you can do equity investment. Equity investment means that you give people you share the ownership of your business. So let's say your business is 100%, right? And then you value this 100% at 1 million USD, and somebody gives you $500,000 USD, then you say that, okay, this person owns 50% of my business. Then that means that that person owns 50% of your equity.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go on.
Okay, sir. I have a question from Richard. Someone is asking, how has OAD contributed to your business success?
Okay, so this is a very important question. I think OAD has been helpful at a certain level as well, because I and Dr. Elijah, we have met several times, and then he also helped us to connect with the UN Industry and Development Organization. I mean, so we went there and we kind of presented our business. So we are still in the process of discussing with them and finding out ways that we can collaborate with them. So this was one very important link between our business and the UN Industrial Development Organization that was created by the OAD. I think this is something very, very great, something that we need to upload at the OAD.
Okay. So during your presentation, you said that the easiest way to break through in starting a business, you have to create a product. Sorry, you create projects for Africans in China. They have to make projects for them to translate in the breakthrough in maybe global market. So for people graduating in the academia, because most of us, we are in the academics. So what kind of projects do you think the market is ready for? Right now, you have experience in Chinese market. Projecting 5 years from now, what kind of project?
So there are a lot of emerging technology right now. So you have AI, right? You have big data. You have all this cloud computing, right? So, but I mean, no one is gonna tell you this is the best project for you to go and do. You have to figure that out by yourself. As an entrepreneur, you look for market opportunities, and those market opportunities, you have to identify a problem in the market, and then you figure out a solution. So there are basically two ways, right? Either you find a problem, there's a problem, and then you figure out the solution to that problem, or you have a solution and you go and find a problem that solution can solve. It also works the other way around. Like for us, when we started, we have a technology, and we didn't really know what industry our technologies was going to fit. So we tried several things. We also did things like POS, point of sale business, and we figured out this is not going to work. The revenue we're getting doesn't work. The amount of effort we're putting in to develop this thing. So we pivoted to other areas until we found out the enterprise applications or the ERP area that kind of fit our technology, and we could generate enough revenue to sustain our business. So my point is that nobody is gonna tell you what is the right business for you to go in. You can come up with ideas, and other people can help you to validate that ideas, or to tell you what you are going to do, if there is a market for it, or there's no, or it's not a very important problem. But you have to do the initiative by yourself. It's not the other way around. You have to start something by yourself.
Okay. Any other questions? I can't see any more questions. So how old is your business? How old is your company? How
Okay,
long have
so our business is about 7 years old, but I have been in the business full time from 2018. Like I think at the end of 2018, I went the business full time. But before that, even when I was at Hewlett Packard, we already started doing the research on the products. So it's like 7 years old and maybe like 4 years full time.
Right. That is
So
Mr. President.
it's a very long time because we're in the B2B market segment. We're in the enterprise business, and it takes a lot of time to build the knowledge, about how the business operates, all the different departments in our organization, and how to like optimize all those organizations. It's not something you can do in a couple of months. Something that needs time and practice.
Okay. Someone asked, what are possible ways to look for potential buyers of our products in China?
Okay, so it depends on what product you have, but one way that always works is like kind of like find a local Chinese partner. They will help you to accelerate your go-to-market in China. So that's like that. But it also depends on the product that you want to sell. You have to like give me kind of like what do you want to sell, and I will give you a better, more appropriate answer. But the easiest way is that you look for a local partner. And also like be careful when you look for a local partner. There are so many things that needs to be considered, because you don't want to partner up with somebody, and at the end of the day, the person owns the whole business, So you have to be careful the way you go around things,
Another question: what kind of products? So, what kind of products helping Africa? Did you have to build your R&D team in China? Yes. Did you have to build your R&D team in China?
Yes, the answer to that question in a single sentence is yes. So we had to build our R&D. So when we started this business, we had to like bring in people from Samsung and Google and IBM, because I was also living in that world. I was working at a Fortune 500 company, Hewlett Packard. So all my network were all those guys from very very big companies. So those are the initial team that helped us to like architect the whole solution that we have right now. So being in the industry also helps you to like connect to the right people when you really want to like build your own business.
Okay, we have somebody that wants to speak. Dr. Kojo, please, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you very much, and good afternoon from Ghana. Dr. Leo, thank you for that insightful session with us. I'll have two issues. One of them is a question and one of them is a contribution. I think the OAAD platform is a bigger platform where we can leverage on as entrepreneurs and startup owners to build productive networks. And that is where I see that we are not quite, to an extent, leveraging on that opportunity as a platform to build a network. Oftentimes, especially those of us who provide services, I run a consultancy, at the same time leads to other startups that provide other services as well. So my companies are more service-oriented, not product-oriented. Sometimes when you post some people contact you on your service, they think since you are on that platform, you should give it to them at no cost. You should do a freebie service. And when you try to correct them, they think you are being mean. I mean, you are not being realistic. You are being anti-African. And I remember from time to time, and President have to step in, Dr. Odi have to step in. I mean, take some people on who really go personal with me on some of these issues on the platform. So I think we need to create that more awareness that yes, in as much as we are community, There are people who are own businesses, who have to run businesses. When our business do well, definitely will support OAAD financially, especially in terms of event of this nature. We'll sponsor them. And so if you do not patronize our services from in-house and you expect that we do everything at no cost, I'm wondering how we are going to survive, how our businesses are going to grow. So let's psych ourselves as a community that in as much as, yes, we want to help ourselves, there are certain extents that those of us who are in the professional service, we won't do such things at no cost. Having said that, I also think that I think we created a platform where we wanted to sort of bring all the entrepreneurs within OAAD together as a community, as a sub-community within OAAD. We had 1 or 2 meetings, and I think it ended there. I think there's a need for us to revive that so that we can build that conscious effort of we translating our research into product and services that could be useful to society. Yes, that is my contribution. Now to my question. Having said that, I also think that there are certain skill sets, transferable skill sets to be specific. You as a researcher, having worked with HP and other Fortune 500 companies, for instance, that I think we as researchers within OAAD need to have. Most of us have, but we don't know how to utilize them, especially when we are transitioning from academia to industry. Can you give us a quick synopsis about that? What are some of the few other 2 or 3 key transferable skills that members of the OAAD platform need to pay attention to, and how to polish on them and refine them? And when they are transitioned from academia to industry, become easier, especially if you go for interview, for instance, you're going for an application scientist position interview, for instance, there are certain terminologies, there are certain expressions and language you need to speak to be able to convince your employer, your potential employer, that yet indeed you are capable. You are not only academically inclined, but you can transfer your skill set to industry to help them to grow.
Okay, so I'm going to try to answer this one, but I don't think I am like 100% like qualified to answer this because I am a practitioner, you know. I am a practitioner. So I have been in the academic, but not as long as in the industry, because I feel more comfortable in the industry than the academic. You know, so after my studies, before I actually went for a PhD, I was in the industry for some time. So I didn't find my transition from academic to the industry very difficult, because I actually never left the industry. You know, so I was always in between the industry and the academic. You know, but so the reason I also included some slides in the beginning about innovation management is because there are certain like general skill set, as you said, about managing a business. So those are things that can be transferred, that we can learn it as a science, you know. So it doesn't always have this. I mean, starting a business is both an art and a science, but the science part we already have so many tools out there that we can use to create a business, you know. So there are things that we call like the business model canvas, the lean startup. I mean, there are so many of those tools out there that we can learn those tools, learn from other people's mistakes, and then use that in our business development. But it's not always going to be science. At one point, it's also an art. You know? So what happens when someone is always late at the office? How do you deal with that person? You know, no book is going to tell you how to deal with that person. You know, it's a special problem. You know, so what I'm saying is that it's both a science and it's both an art and a science. So the science part, we can rely on the tools that have been developed for many years in the entrepreneurship. Does that kind of like answer the question a little bit? I'm not very sure about this one.
Mr. President has a question for you, sir. Sir, you have the floor, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Leo. Please, I would like to ask the problem of funding. You mentioned a number of ways, like equity funding and like fund you raise, yes, tech funding or debt funding and all those. Yeah, and then from family, friends, and things like that. Yeah, I would like to ask, since we in OAD have quite a number of people who, you know, as PhD students or PhD holders, some will be professors, and some may have some money reserved in some way or have some savings, and some do not have this business mindset or acumen to drive business like yourself. Is there a way you think that OAD as an organization could work towards ensuring that maybe for those of us, for some of us who have good business models that you know that are showing or that have shown traction or workability over time, is there a way you think that we as an organization or members as individuals within the organization could facilitate the expansion of businesses of such persons, and by doing so they get to benefit while they are still expanding their minds and looking for ways they could you know, run their own businesses or something like that? What are your thoughts, please?
Okay, so this is a very long process, you know, to like kind of like define a way where OAD can help the flow of capital from member in the organization, businesses in the organization, and back from the businesses after they have generated enough profits back to the members of the organization. So this is a very long process on designing those things. Not something that we can just sit down and do in a couple of months. Something that needs deep thinking. But it depends. If we have the will to design such a capital flow structure within the OAD, that's something that we can sit down and then we see how this can be done at the minimum risk level, what kind of business that the OAD would like to promote, what stages those businesses have to be into, what kind of data we need from those businesses to prove that they are already like at the, I mean, that they have minimum risk, they have crossed the level of doing business model search, they're already at the growth stage. So what kind of data we need to get from this organization before we can say that, okay, we are not only promoting these businesses in terms of just marketing side, we're also promoting the businesses in terms of directing the flow of capital into the businesses, right? So these are things that we can sit down sometime and then and discuss in detail. But I think it's doable. It's just a matter of our will to do it, and how do we share the risk and reward from such initiatives.
Okay. Thank you very much for that point. And I also want to thank Kojo for the points he made. And I would like to mention that definitely we are going to, the group did not die per se, but it's just that there are so many things kind of going on within the organization at the same time. And we are looking for ways to balance human resources. And hopefully, as soon as possible, we are hoping that we may be able to begin to either employ a full-time staff or a permanent staff who can help to moderate or to put all these little pieces of movement of things together to help us make, create more value in that regard. And just like our brother has mentioned, now it's something that will require really a long-term engagement or not just a brief kind of thing. It requires really kind of attention, because where everybody is so busy with their research and doing maybe some other kind of work, I think it's I think that's part of what has delayed us, in responding to Kojo, in terms of how we have not been able to, drive the process we had begun. Had a few meetings, passion vibrating, but not having not moved so far in that angle. So yes, thank you very much, Dr. Leo. Kojo's hand is still up. It seems like. Does it still work?
Yes, thank you all for the reactions. Yes, I think he was a bit diplomatic about the response to your last question. But I think, yes, as entrepreneurs, we have to be careful on what we say on some of these long-term actions that need to be taken. So I understand the diplomacy in that response. I think somebody has also re-echoed your question a different line that I would like to speak to. I've spoken to you one-on-one, Dr. Elijah, on this on several occasions, which I'm very passionate about this, because I'm a beneficiary of this, and I can see a lot of our young entrepreneurs going through this and they're failing on a daily basis. I think one of the things that OAD we can do from the short term to the long term is not only finance is the only reason for the failure of most startups. One of the leading reasons for the failure of most startups also had to do with inexperience. And the surest way to cure that inexperience is through mentorship and coaching. And somebody like our brother here, Dr. Leo, for instance, could be a perfect coach for one of our training programs. So we spoke about this extensively. I know in our entrepreneurship section, we'll touch on this. So if there's a way we could also start discussions in this regard, build sort of a sub team consisting of entrepreneurs, practicing business people that can provide coaching, one-on-one mentorship to our colleagues, our brothers and sisters who are still in school, want to start business in school or want to start business after they have graduated, how we can coach them. I mean, there are certain decisions you need not to go and reinvent the wheel. If somebody has done it, there's no need to go and reinvent the wheel. But sometimes if you do not know it, you think that because you are in a different environment, it's a new thing, and you go and at the end of the day, crash your business. We need some sort of hands-on coaching, hands-on mentoring and guidance, especially for those of us who are now going to enter into the space of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. And so it's expedient that when you are starting, you speak to people who have gone ahead of you, so you don't repeat some of the mistakes they made, so that you reduce your rate of risk in terms of your success. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Dr. Lee, you want to say something in that regard?
No, I think he just did quite evidently. So there's kind of a need to create a mentorship program so that people with more experience can transfer some of that knowledge to the younger talent that are just getting their feet into this process.
Okay, perfect. And what do you say to that? Since you are our resource person today and you're also the most experienced business person, maybe, I don't know about, there may be some other persons that are very experienced in business in the meeting I'm not aware of, but within the meeting now, you are the person I know that's most experienced. So do you think it's something we can begin to drive within the organization? Will you be, I know how busy you are, will you be able to make out time at certain points in some kind of scheduled arrangement to provide certain form of training for our people? Do you think it's something we can begin, and then we find you could find other experts you may be able to invite within your network to handle one or two things here and there, such that it's not too burdensome on you? What do you think?
I think that's something that we can do, right? We can first of all, figure out what areas we want to focus on, right? And then we design a program that kind of help us to move towards that direction. So we don't just have to go on and then hit every direction. We need to have a focus somewhere, right? And in then on that focus now, we can then design the program around that direction. But I think first of all, before we go into that, we need to like do a short survey on trying to like gather information about who are those who are interested in this program. You know, we have to like first figure out, as we do in the business, the market size. Who are those who are interested in this program before we go and like put in effort to like design the program when there's no market for the program. You see what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
So that is where we have to start, like figure out those who are interested in the program and ground they are,
Okay.
what stage they are in their career. Then we can then talk about how do we design a program that would match their needs.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. I think Kojo, I think you just got an assignment. So Kojo, are you there? Please unmute yourself.
Yeah.
You hear that sounded like what you can do.
Yeah, because I'm already doing it for other people who are not
Beautiful.
members of the company. So I'm wondering why we can't do that for our own colleagues who have high level of education, easier to mentor than some of the people, some of us mentor here. Yeah.
So please, I'm going to create a small group where we'll bring only people who have experience in business and people who we're going to work with. But the first assignment would be to make that, just as Dr. Leo proposed, to make the survey so that we can find within our communities who are the people interested in this program. So please, when I create the group, or even right away, you may start, and then you can, if there are some other people you know within the organization you can work with, we can find people to work with you. Let's make that a survey that will collect that information. And in terms of the people, I know somebody here asked the question, M. Sani asked the question, talking about mentorship. Is there any program available? So please, M. Sani, just as you can hear right now, I know you are also experienced in many things, and so it'd be good to have you in our first class. Such a high-profile person within our first class. So so please, Dr. Kojo, can I say that we have you ready to work with, hopefully to work with a team that will design the survey and will begin to circulate it within the community? Kojo, please. Are you there? Yeah, I'm trying to see. Okay. Oh, it's like he lost his connection. Yeah. So, but we will. This is something that's going to be done. We will design the survey, and we'll find those who will be interested in the program. But I can almost say already that what we will need should be some of the things we will need very seriously would be those who have shown interest. How do they start? And then anyway, we will discuss this in details subsequently so that we don't take all the time in this meeting right now. Yes. So okay, please, over to you.
Dr. Leo, thank you very much. Before we let you go, we have one last question. Someone wants you to just briefly tell us the processes in starting a business, a company in China, the registration and the license.
Okay, so it was a very long time since I did those things. But I think that the easiest way is to get a company that will help you to do this. That is the easiest way. It doesn't cost much. I think it costs about, and by the way, yeah, there are some industrial parks in Shanghai that will register the company for you for free. Right? That you don't need to pay any money for the registration. But after you register the company as a small business, they will be helping you with the accounting process on a monthly basis, and then they will be charging you for the accounting process. So if you are like really ready to start a business in China, maybe you could just contact me, and I will give you the contact of that organization that can help you to set up a business. That's much better than me sitting here and explaining a lot. Just do it. Let's just do it. No.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Leo. Thank you for your presentation. We've learned a lot. Thank you so much. We would like to move into the next segment of this meeting, which is our family discussion. So our family discussion, I will ask some questions and I expect us to engage in the discussion. So the first question I'd like to ask is, for those of us, especially those of us joining OAD, our recent members, how can OAD help your career development? Is there any way you feel that this organization can help you advance in your career? We would like you to tell us so that we can improve. Is there anybody that would like to unmute and then tell us how you want OAD to help your career or business? No one. Okay, I see one hand. Okay, Ahmed, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Anyway, I don't just want to talk about business. I also want to talk about the academic aspects. I'm kind of new here. Joining the meeting yesterday was a big move for me. And I think just between that yesterday and today, I've covered a lot. I've covered a lot in terms of my fear and in terms of my career progression, so to say. I contacted Dr. Olayinka, I contacted the president, and I'm seeing a positive impact in my career onward. So I want to suggest that this kind of forum can be made open time to time, like me being a new student in China and getting these contacts immediately. I'm still in isolation right now, and I'm already having these contacts. What if I get to my school and I start my research proper? Then definitely I'll have breakthroughs with the collaboration I'm getting already. So I want to suggest that when new students are resuming like this, network should be made so that they can join the group, and a kind of orientation program can be organized for them that will improve them and guide them in their career progression. Also for businesses, also this kind of forum can be organized for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would like to say that you have no problem with that. We are always having forums, workshops, and seminar in this organization. So there'll be no problem doing all of those things you have enumerated. Thank you very much. Mr. President, do you have anything to say to add to that?
No, just to congratulate him for finding us. And we hope he can help when he comes out from isolation, help find other PhD holders or PhD students of African descent only, PhD students of African descent only around you in your network. Bring them on board so that they can also enjoy what you are enjoying. We still have space in our fourth group. The first, second, and third groups are full, but our fourth group still has some space. So please, spread the good news. And you've seen just very little. Many more, you should see greater things.
Thank you, Miss Dr. Kojo. You please unmute yourself.
Yes, sorry, my network was messing up. Apologies. To your latest question, I think we're already doing what needs to be done to support all of us. But I think we can scale it up more. by doubling up our efforts, especially with our platform. We seem to have over prioritized WeChat at the expense of all other platforms that we are on all the other platforms. We are on Telegram, we are on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on all the other platforms as I can trace our links. But unfortunately, there's less activity on the other platform apart from WeChat. So I remember suggesting to the West African coordinator, let's have platform coordinators. LinkedIn, for instance, let's have somebody who coordinates discussions, coordinates interactions, conversations on those platforms so that we can engage our peers who one way or the other might not have access to WeChat or even be on our WeChat platform so that they can also enjoy what is going on there. For instance, just like our president does, he will sometimes screenshot conversation on another platform on the same WeChat, okay, and post it on other platform on WeChat that you and I are not there so that we can have the benefit of conversation ongoing on other platforms. We could do same for all the other platforms like Telegram. Telegram, for instance, can accommodate all of us on just one space. It takes over 200,000 people. So you can imagine the number of people that can be on just single channel. But we don't make good use of Telegram. And Telegram is beyond borders. I don't know if you still need VPN in China to use Telegram because I've left China for almost 2 years now. But when I was there, you didn't need VPN to use Telegram, for instance. And that applies to all other regions across the world. You can use Telegram across the group. And so if there's a way we could re-strategize how to engage and activate the other platforms so that people on those platforms can also benefit from what happens on the WeChat platforms. Secondly, I also think that we need to do targeted programs and initiatives, especially in the coming year. This year, I felt we had so many programs that at the end of the day, its implementation fell short to an extent. Some of the programs, the way we started, that is not the vim I saw us implement some of these programs. So next year, if you can be very specific, we do not need to implement like 10, 15 programs. If we can implement 5 and do it well, I will recommend that to us, especially to the ESCO and to the executives. Lastly, I also think that one of the areas where we can beef up our help in a more structured way to help ourselves, let me put it that way, because some of us, even though we seems to be find ourselves in the middle, we still have more things to learn, is to institutionalize this mentorship, peer mentorship program among ourselves, so that those of us who are ahead of others, we can lend a helping hand to those who are below us, okay, uplifting them, helping them, providing information that could help them in whatever they are doing. Is it in the academics? I sometimes see we started that, but I was expecting by this time we'll have streamlined that people will post on the platform looking for somebody to help them in their data analysis and all that. I was expecting that we'll have structured that by this time we have a department that responds to that separately. So when that request comes, immediately you refer to the coordinator of that group, and then they quickly put in the help to help such people, so that it doesn't become like a wholesale thing. Everybody comes and puts anything on the platform. Let's have it in a more streamlined and structured way. Going forward in 2023, I hope that we'll do things in a more structured way that everybody can benefit from the platform. Notwithstanding, I also lead with us, I'm included, yes, the platform is built for you and I, it's not built for Elijah only. Elijah was just a vessel used, okay, to bring the platform out. So let's own it wherever else you are. Preach it, talk about it, connect people. In my country, for instance, I don't know which researcher I've met that I've not talked to them about OAAD, that I can't even talk about them not being on our Telegram platform. But a disappointment, most of them have mentioned to me that your platform is always inactive. And so that is what I expect, that we have platform coordinators so that we can activate conversation and activities on those platforms, so that wherever else you are in Africa or elsewhere in the group, you can still benefit from what happens on the WeChat platforms. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bridget. Thank you so much. That was those recommendations have been taken into account, I assure you. Thank you so much. Yeah. We have, before we call our VP South Africa for a closing remark, we have one last thing we would like to ask us. Oh, Sharon. Yeah, okay, let's hear from Sharon. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, clearly.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really happy to be a part of this platform. First of all, I want to say happy anniversary to OAAD. Congratulations. Wow, it's been amazing. And I want to say kudos to the executives, kudos to everyone that has been a part of this. And, you know, to the point that we are so many of us in here now. We're just coming in right now, but we're already, benefiting from OAAD. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. And we pray that the good Lord will continue to strengthen you guys and give you the, that selflessness to keep working to make it great. I also want to thank the speaker for today. Thank you so much, Doctor. I learned a lot even yesterday. I just joined OAAD not long ago, and just like the previous brother spoke, and he said he's still in quarantine. I hope that he's gonna be out shortly, and that he's benefited a lot. Just like me, I started yesterday, and I've really learned a lot just for these 2 days. And also, I'm just coming in as a freshman, for my PhD, and I'm looking forward to working with others, in my own field, and also to be able to contribute in any way that I'm able to. And the speaker of yesterday, he said something about our professors, saying that some of them don't know how to speak English. And that's one challenge. They can't express themselves very well in English. And sometimes you take maybe an issue concerning your topic, or maybe a paper to him, he's not able to really help you. So I think this platform is really going to help us very much, some of us that are freshmen, and especially in the area of mentorship that the other speaker spoke a while ago. So I feel like it's really, it's a great platform that is not only going to help some of us, the freshmen, but also others that are going to come in later and those that are already there. Thank you so much. I'm so proud to be a part of this platform, and I look forward to contributing my own quota. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. We are so proud to have you. Yes, we like your spirit already. You're so enthusiastic. Thank you very much. We are so happy to have you in our midst. Someone asked, how can OAD help to promote my business? I think we've dealt with this in indirect ways. Mr. President, please, can you answer this question? How can OAD help promote my business? From Jesus Banner.
Okay. Yes, there are many ways we can help. Of course, any help that anybody can do is usually based on what the person has. So what OAD has is people. OAD has people, and people basically are the ones that take responsibility for, making any help come to pass. So one of the things we are doing is that within the next, within the year we're entering, we are opening up a fresh registration process that's going to allow us bring in people, whether they are in China or they are not in China, because our organization at the moment engages with people in over 5 continents. And we are, the way that OAD will be able to help any kind of business is that OAD can make any business to become global, because we have people everywhere. But first, we want to finish the structuring, just like our brother Kojo mentioned. there are many things we are still at the stage of structuring, building, and we, we don't seem to have a lot of speed for certain things because we are still at the stage of trying to have somebody who is going to be, or have people who are fully dedicated to working or coordinating our activities. At the moment, there are still a few things here and there that interferes with persons, even though we have some people who seem to be working full-time for the organization, but there are still a few interferences there. When we are done with our database, which we are generating, it will be very easy for us. We can easily, because one thing we've discovered is that people are not necessarily always on WeChat groups because researchers are extremely busy with their own works and all that. So we are going to be using email conversations, which we've found to be more effective. But that can only begin once we are done with the registration process in terms of bringing people within that platform. Every member is going to have a portal that records everything they are doing in terms of their own input or their own engagements. And of course, everybody's going to have their own membership ID. And for Africans who are not members of the organization, we will still be able to support them once we find what they are doing and we assess it and we check where can this be plugged within the structure of what we're doing. Because one of the things we'll be doing also will be to set up people in, within communities across Africa or anywhere, set them up within their own business spaces. We'll be able to patronize them if it's, or show that, okay, or we can make recommendations because we have been able to put in a lot of energy in brand development. So, and as our brand recognition keeps increasing, it will be very easy for us. Even at this moment, we are already able to make recommendations for a lot of top level projects. Hopefully, we'll be able to make more in the years ahead. Definitely, that's very, very absolute. But we want to be able to take a little more time to understand ourselves a little better, which is why we say, just like our speaker mentioned, that anything we're going to be doing has to be based on projects. You can't build castles in the air. So in OAAD, we don't just say, okay, we're doing this. We do things within the frameworks of projects. So when we are doing projects, maybe it could be research or it could be an entrepreneurship project. When we're doing that, actually the bigger thing we're doing is that we are learning to respect each other. We are learning to know, we're learning what each other likes. We are building trust within the project. So the most important thing we are doing in OAAD is building trust, developing trust across Africa. Since we have members in all African countries, we are building trust that is going to permeate all the links across Africa. This will become very useful when we look at spaces like the Africa Continental Free Trade area. We are going to be able to operate very beautifully within that space. We are planning a conference which we are hoping to invite the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Hopefully we'll be able to get access. We've already initiated some conversations. We are planning a very big conference next year. So all those are things we'll do that based on that development, those developmental stages, people will be able to see what we have, what we are able to offer. And then with the strength we get, we'll be able to support any member or anybody from anywhere in the world who we have been able to assess what they are doing, and it can, it's worth getting our attention. We'll be able to put the attention. Of course, being able to getting our attention will be that it should be something that is verifiable, something that we can trust, something we see working, and something we see that is effective. So definitely this is how OAAD can help your business and any business at all. And of course, as we've mentioned in the survey we put out, we are going to also be setting up companies, setting up businesses, and nobody who hangs around with us in the long term can be a poor person. It's not possible. It's not possible because, you know, the world responds to competencies. The world responds to ability to solve problems. The world responds to innovations, and our people are very innovative. Our people have got competencies, abilities that can help them solve problems. And we'll be solving problems, we'll be growing, we'll be getting stronger, we'll be solving problems, we'll be getting paid, and everybody's going to be happy. That's absolutely what's going to happen. And we can see it happening already, and it will only get bigger and bigger as the years unfold. Yes, yeah, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. So we have just 2 minutes before we invite our VP South Africa for the closing remark. So I have one last question, one last request to ask us. 2 minutes, we will not take time. What, as Dr. Kojo rightly pointed out, OAD belongs to all of us. So we already making some giant strides in the international domain. So we would like to hear some suggestions from all of us. What more do you think OAD can do to get a wider global reach? What do you think we can do to get more attention globally? Is anybody that has to contribute on that should indicate, otherwise we'll close.
While you're waiting for somebody, let me take 30 seconds out of 2 minutes to say that by November next year, the organization will be bringing in new set of leaders, you know, the executive council, and also people within the coordinators of research groups or other levels. Although we are not at the moment doing the coordinatorship of research groups are still, you know, a continuous thing. But for the executive council, by next year, November, we're going to have new set of executive council. I will not be president from that time. But we want to, you know, mention to all of us, if you see what's going on now and you are enjoying it and you want to be able to, you know, to be part of those who are going to, you know, drive this from the core, to be part of the executive council, the only method to doing that is we want to see you begin to participate. We want to see you get involved in what we're doing. We want to see you active on the group, because this kind of leadership is not done based on sentiments. People may be very active or people may be capable of doing things, but they are not willing or they are not available to make out the time. Of course, we know that time is always tight. There's no PhD student that is not busy. There's no PhD holder that's not busy. And in fact, in OAD, we usually say, you know, informally, that we welcome only busy people. We don't admit as members people who are not busy. Only busy people are welcome as members. So please, if you would like to participate in the executive council as a member of the executive council for any of the positions, this is the time to begin to participate. Do something within the organization that allows people to know you, that allows us to know you, because through that we'll be able to see your capacities. And when the time comes and you mention that you are willing to, you know, become a member of the executive council, it will be easy for you to get involved, and people will be able to know that, okay, I know this person has been on the group, so I will vote for this person, and you most likely be able to win the election and get up to do what you have to do for Africa. Let me mention also, I've taken more than 30 seconds. Let me mention that we are still working very hard on bringing out the schedule for the 1,000 co-author research paper, which we are starting soon. We have also composed a song that goes with that paper, and it's currently being worked on in terms of scoring it to produce the notations by music experts, to produce the notations so that anybody from anywhere in the world will be able to sing it. This is going to be like a song that helps us to see the overview of everything we're going to be doing around the paper and also around our organization moving into the far future. So please prepare your mind about this. Will let us know when it's time. The 1,000 co-author papers, what that can do to your career is unimaginable. Of course, the 100-person co-author paper is going on and it is already in progress. Hopefully, we're hoping that the paper may be submitted in between January and March next year, or earlier than that. We are not exactly sure, but the 1,000 co-author paper is coming. Please prepare your mind, and if possible, as much as possible, for those who are in this meeting at this time, I want to appeal to you. One thing we've seen is that people don't necessarily check WeChat groups so often. The OAAD WeChat groups are extraordinary. If you are on any of them, especially the major groups, if possible, unmute that group. I know that usually groups get muted. If possible, unmute the group. Then secondly, if possible, check the group at least once a day. There are too many opportunities I see flowing, and I just wish everybody will see this, circulating. And of course, when our database is ready, we'll be able to be sending it to your email address, and you'll be able to access it anytime you get on, and it doesn't get to be lost. Thank you so much, and blessings.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We would like to invite Dr. Mavis for closing remarks. Dr. Mavis is our Vice President, South Africa. Dr. Mavis, are you ready for us?
Yes, thank you. It's Vice President, Southern Africa. Just to correct you there. Thank you very much to our speakers. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leo. For me, this was an aha moment as someone who is working on a startup, and I'm thankful for everything that you shared. And Dr. Kojo, you said so many things. Like for me, when you gave your final speech, I was like, no, he has summed up the meeting perfectly. Everything that we have to do as OAAD moving forward, and how to be more effective and to reach more people. Thank you very much. And to the organizers, we are very thankful for the 2 days that we've had our two speakers. We've learned a lot, be it in academics, be it those who are into entrepreneurship. There's something that we took from this meeting. And in closing, Dr. Leo said something that it's just in my mind right now. He said, as an entrepreneur, it's very important that you associate yourself with the right brand. And basically, that's what we are doing in OAAD. We're trying to build the right brand for people in academics to progress in their careers. We're trying to build the right brand for our entrepreneurs, such that they're associated with this right brand in everything they do. So please, guys, whenever we have conferences, whenever we have activities, try by all means to be part of all the activities that we have in OAAD. Through the activities, you are able to network, you are able to build on a strong social capital that will take you places. And I will close using yesterday's speaker's word. He said, the most valuable resource that we have is each other. So let's use this resource to progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that closing remark. Please, I will encourage us. There's a link we'll share shortly. Please kindly take the survey. It's going to assist us to on several things. Please kindly take the survey, and I will implore us, please, can you open your cameras? We'd like to take a photo of this meeting. Please open up your camera so that we can take just 5 seconds, please. Thank you. Please, the link has been shared.
cameras. Thank you. Press Duro. Sorry, you just came in and we are closing already. Thank you very much, Aaron, for opening your camera. Thank you, Dr. Leo. It's exciting. Thank you, Elisha. Good to see you. It's been a long time. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Mavis. Yeah. Oh, Crystal. Thank you. Yeah, please, if you're able to open your camera, please do. As there are still cameras on that are not open on the first screen, and we would like to take it up before. Thank you, Gideon. Dr. Yugi, if you're able to open your camera, yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cameras are opening, and we are really grateful. Dan, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Pago. Good to see you again. It's been a long time. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Luabumi. Thank you for opening your camera. Oh, beautiful! It's just looking good. Thank you.
Very greetings, sir. Special greetings, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, the first screen is almost all open. Just two people that are not yet open. If it's possible for you to open your camera, that would just be beautiful to give us a good, a good view. Yeah, Sharon, if you are able to open your camera, that would just be perfect. Okay, but if you're not able, I understand, Benita. If you are able to open your camera, that would just be fine. But if you're not able, we understand perfectly. And I'm just gonna capture this one. Please, if you can smile or do something. Yeah, Sharon, thank you for opening your camera. I'm so blessed to see you today. Yeah, so if you're gonna do something like, maybe a smile will be the least you can do. But if you can do something else, that would just be fine. Like, but I'm gonna put down my hand now, but I'm gonna keep this one up just to do something more than a smile. Maybe like the Chinese do like this. So I'm gonna capture the first screen. Yeah, great. Yeah, and I'm gonna capture again. If you're able to, if your smile has not finished, I will capture it again. It's still remaining. And then I'll go to, okay, perfect. Then I'm gonna go to the second screen. And I hope that we have, oh, beautiful, smiles are here, and I'm just going to capture, not all of them are Jesus. If you are able to open, Yannick, Hamza, okay, Kama, okay, Ishak, okay, so I'm just going to capture what we have here right now and on the second page, and I'm excited that we have this captured, beautiful. I'm going to capture another one just to back up, and I'm feeling excited. Thank you so much. Great. Thank you, Collie, for doing something more than a smile. And please, ladies and gentlemen, we've captured everyone's face, and we are excited about having been with you today. And please just do have a wonderful time. As maybe I'll hand over back to the moderator. I don't know whether she wants to do something else, but
please fill the survey for us. Thank you very much. Thank you for.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, fill the survey.
Thank you. We'll share the link in the group. In all the groups, please kindly take 2 minutes to fill it. Thank you.
Exactly, and I'm sharing it again here now. If you haven't filled it, it's very useful for us, very helpful for us, because it's one of the ways we're going to move forward in terms of holding the organization strong. Like many of us buy things from Taobao. We've put a Taobao shop together, working together with some other persons. If anytime you're able to buy things from that Taobao shop, which you'll be able to see, you'll be able to join a group when you click on that link. If you buy things on that Taobao shop, it will help us to, make progress in terms of,